think he did it.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect. All right. So I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to meet with us today. Like Bruce highlighted in our original email, we're a cab company, and we're a group formed for our entrepreneurship class with the goal of simplifying parking for students on campus. We basically were given the problem where we'd have to interview college students and ask them what their biggest problem is with Virginia Tech. And there was a lot of, the dining halls are too crowded, the gym's too crowded, but one of the biggest ones we got were we couldn't find parking spots. So we decided to kind of pursue that problem. And one of the first questions I'd like to ask both of you is how long you've had your roles here at Virginia Tech.
I've been with Virginia Tech Parking for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Assistant manager over part of the department for the last 10, and then assistant manager over the whole department for about a month.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about you, Jerry?
I've been at Virginia Tech 15 months.
15 months.
So I've been involved with parking and transportation for about 15 years as well, 16 years. So,
Okay. Okay.
at other universities.
All right. So what brought you to Virginia Tech?
The opportunity that I saw here for the department, so I have parking, alternative transportation, fleet, transit, so I have that group. And just saw it as a really good opportunity to grow and expand the responsibilities that I've had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the universities that I've been at have had pretty much the same core groups, with just a little bit of difference. I was at UMass and Amherst, had the same stuff, but we ran the transit there instead of contracting out with Blacksburg Transit. So, but very similar issues and challenges at each of the schools.
Okay. How about you, Pam? What brought you to Virginia Tech, and I guess what kind of changes have you seen since you first came here?
Growth. We've lost parking and gained a whole lot of buildings.
Yes.
I'm actually a local girl. I live in Giles County.
Okay.
Been there all my life. And this was an opportunity for me to gain additional employment with benefits.
Mm-hmm.
For the
Okay.
main reason.
Perfect.
How about you? Tell us where you're from.
Oh, I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
I'm a senior here at Virginia Tech.
I'm from Woodbridge, Virginia, so right outside DC.
Okay.
And I'm from Newport News, Virginia, and I'm also junior.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We also have very diverse backgrounds. I'm a building construction major, so I fully recognize the amount of buildings that are shooting up.
Yeah, I'm an accounting major, so I just deal with numbers.
And I'm management and finance.
Great. Okay.
All right. I guess this is a question for both of you. Well, you've kind of answered this already, Pam, but what kind of changes have you seen since assuming your role?
Yeah, I think.
Or I guess what kind of changes have you also implemented?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that when I first got here, that if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of motto.
Yep.
I don't like to really go in somewhere and just start putting my fingerprints on things. So the things that I've tried to tweak along the way have been really minor, maybe behind the scenes kind of stuff that didn't really make big changes that outwardly you could see, but made the department run better. The challenges that we have here is that, over the last year we've lost, 2,000 or so. I'm sorry, over the last 5 years we've lost 2,000 or so parking places, including the stuff that's projected to come. With the new multimodal and the new the expansion of Pamplin and all that kind of stuff. So it's like we're going to have like a net loss of around 2,000 spaces when all of that's said and done.
Yep.
And it's managing everyone's expectations, because believe it or not, while you probably don't believe this yourself, we have a surplus of parking spaces every day.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look out that window. Can't quite see everything in the stadium lot, but no one's parked right now in Chicken Hill. It's got 1,000 spaces, and there's maybe 50, 60 cars in there.
Yeah.
If you go over to the duck pond lot or the cage, there's always, 800, 1,000 spaces sitting over there. It's just we don't have a supply issue. We have a location issue.
Okay.
And we have a perception issue. And so when you've polled your students and they're like, oh, there's no parking on campus, translate. Oh, there's no parking right outside the door where I want to be.
Yeah.
It's not that there's no
It's a
parking.
convenience
It's
issue.
not
Yeah.
that there's no parking on campus.
Yeah.
Did you see the article that went out? I think it was in Virginia Tech News on Tuesday, maybe, and it said, "Are you having trouble finding a place to park? Well, if you don't get You probably just get the student version of the VT News. But in the VT News that goes out every day for employees, I think it was in the Tuesday. It might have been in the Wednesday VT News for students. But it was basically, here are 2 big lots on campus that are way underutilized. And so you can park in the Duck Pond lot or in the Upper Smithfield lot. And it's about a 10-minute walk to the drill field.
Mm-hmm.
Or every 15 minutes, the Hokie Express comes by and they'll drop you off right at Newman or Burris or wherever you want to be. That's every 15-minute headway. And this lot right here, Chicken Hill, the CRC bus picks up, and it'll take you to Castle, around to Newman, around by Burris, and back out this way. It runs every 20 minutes. So that we have opportunities for people to take advantage of the spaces that we have on campus with not a whole lot of stress, really, if you will. If you come to campus every day and you drive up and down every lot in the Perry Street area, and you go in the garage and you're frustrated and you're like going up and you're like, there's never any parking, and you spend 20 or 30 minutes looking for a place to park. If you think about your elevated blood pressure doing that and how frustrated that you are that you paid $274 for a parking permit and there's never any parking spots. If you compare that time, stress, and energy to just immediately just driving over to park in the Smithfield lot or the Cage lot and taking the 10-minute walk, or timing it out, knowing the bus schedule, getting there, and 5 minutes later hopping on a bus, and 7 minutes later standing out in front of Burris. If you compare that sort of stress with this stress, you know, I'm trying to educate people that this is a much better way to go. You know, that, you may get lucky 1 day a week or 2 days a week and find that spot someone's backing out and be the next one in line. You know, we call it sharks. You know,
we call it sharks too. It's
you're swimming around, and which is a little fish is going to back out, so you can just but you might be. But you also might have that elevated stress and that time lost and that kind of stuff. And so, but if you know that every day you could drive to this lot and in 12 minutes, 13 minutes be on campus without any stress, you know, I'm trying to convince people that that's a better way to go.
And that's funny because we were just talking about this, how we were looking at this map and we're like, wow, we didn't know we had this much parking.
I feel like a lot of students really don't know what parking is actually.
I just found out about the Duck Pond commuter lot this year, and I always park there before my 11:55 class on Tuesday, Thursday. It's always open. And I mean, it's a bit of a walk, but the time lost from me looking in the parking garage, going up and down. I mean, it makes up for it way more.
And you know, a shuttle.
And
that's true.
Let me lean over you, Pam. We're also looking at adding about 750 more spaces right here. And that's to help make up for some of the stuff we lose in the multimodal. And you've heard of the Western Perimeter Road, which is sort of the next big road expansion that's going to happen. You know, they're doing all this work down here. And all kinds of stuff. Well, that Western Perimeter Road is going to run right past. It's going to come off of the circle here, and it's going to run right past that and go right up into the new academic core that's going to be over where the golf course is. And so that'll be your connectivity. You'll be able to, if you parked in this lot to get to campus, you'll be able to hop right on that, boom, right on 460 and off campus wherever you need to go. So
that's good. You kind of answered the next question. I was going to ask, what future changes are you planning to implement, or future changes that you see coming?
Okay, so besides that, we're going to have major changes in the Perry Street area starting June or so next year. Not this June, but June 18. And that is so where the parking garage is up there.
It'll be right in this area.
So that little purple lot that's right in front of the garage, if you want to park, so that lot's going away. That's going to be where the building is, and then the whole side of Goodwin, that's going away, and then about a third of the commuter grad spaces on the left side as well. So the building that's going in there, it's called the Multimodal Transit Facility, and what that is, it's a 2-year project to build. It's gonna in the Goodwin side of the lot. So on the right-hand side of the Perry Street garage, and then also in the commuter grad spaces on the left-hand side of the lot, those will be bus loops where all the transit will come to campus, and it's the multimodal transit facility We'll have bike share there, and we'll have the ability that everybody that rides a bus in will get into there and then go where they need to go. And they will still be some campus circulation from there, but it removes more than half of the buses off of the drill field. So So right now, if you're on a bus and you happen to be on a bus that comes onto campus during class change, that bus has to run late because there's no way you can get from point A to point B at the same time you can get there when there's no class change going on. You know, especially up and down Stanger and the Kent Street part by the Newman Library and anywhere on the drill field. There's so many crosswalks, right? You can go about you can go about 4 feet and stop. Go about 10 feet, stop.
Especially during
class change. So we're removing more than half of the buses that come on the drill field.
Okay.
And the other thing we're changing there is none of the buses that go on the drill field will have any time checks on the drill field. And what that means is right now, if I'm a bus and I'm supposed to leave this point at 10 o'clock and I get there at 9:55, I have to wait until 10 o'clock because the way bus schedules work is they have certain points along the route that are called time checks. Now, if it's a 10 o'clock time, if it's a 10 o'clock spot and I get there at 10:01, then I just get there, let the people off, put the people on, and keep going. But if I get there early, I have to